Hi there, boys and girls, and welcome back to Conquering Math, where it all adds up. Today we will be learning how to evaluate algebraic expressions. Let's dive on in. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to use substitution to evaluate algebraic expressions containing one or more constants. The Common Core State Standard today is to evaluate expressions at specific values of their variables. Example number 1. Evaluate the following expressions. 8 plus h when h equals 6. We will need to substitute the number 6 in for h in the expression in order to evaluate. So we have 8 plus h equals 8 plus 6. Notice that I always substitute the number in and place it in parentheses so that I know it went in for a variable. 8 plus 6 equals 14. So 8 plus h equals 14 when h equals 6. Let's try another example. 9 times L when L equals 5. We have 9 times L equals 9 times 5. Again, I have substituted the number in and placed it in parentheses. This will come in handy later on. 9 times 5 equals 45. So 9 times L equals 45 when L equals 5. Example number 2. This time we will use a power to rewrite and evaluate the expression. P times P times P times P times P when P equals 3. Let's start with an exponent. P times P times P times P times P equals P to the 5th power. Next, let's substitute in. P to the 5th power equals 3 to the 5th power. This is where the parentheses start to come in handy. 3 to the 5th power equals 243. So, p to the 5th power equals 243 when p equals 3. When dealing with larger exponents, feel free to use your calculator if you need to. For this next example, we will take a look at our first expression containing more than one operation. In this case, we need to evaluate t minus 6v when t equals 42 and v equals 3. So we start with t minus 6v equals 42 minus 6 times 3. Notice that by substituting in using parentheses, I know that the 6 is multiplied by the 3. 42 minus 6 times 3 equals 42 minus 18. And from there we subtract, and we find that 42 minus 18 equals 24. So, t minus 6v equals 24 when t equals 42 and v equals 3. Once again, we will finish up with a real-world example. You decide to start a baseball card collection. You start with the 14 cards that you find in a shoebox in the attic. You buy a new pack of 5 cards every month. Your goal is to have 95 cards in a year. Will you make your goal at this rate? Hint. Use the expression 14 plus 5m, where m stands for months, to evaluate. So we'll start with the expression 14 plus 5m, and we know that there are 12 months in a year, so we'll substitute that number in for m, and we are left with the expression 14 plus 5 times 12. This equals 14 plus 60, and finally 14 plus 60 equals 74. Notice that we used the order of operations for each step to solve this problem appropriately. You will have 74 baseball cards by the end of the year, so you will not make your goal. Today you learned to use substitution to evaluate algebraic expressions containing one or more constants. The Common Core State Standard today was to evaluate expressions at specific values of their variables. Now that you are familiar with these techniques, complete the independent practice problems in your guided notes packet. Then watch the independent practice solutions video to check your work. Thanks for watching this episode of Conquering Math, where it all adds up. I'll see you next time.